We have to remember we have to give our children opportunities to grow. So we want them to self-analyze to see what they did right, what they didn't do so right, and then how to fix what they didn't do right. One of the most powerful tools that I've taught my kids is you don't need approval from anybody else. What I mean by that is, over the last 30 years, I've been teaching kids martial arts. And what I watch on the floor happen all the time is you'll have a kid on the floor and they'll be throwing a punch or two and they'll look over at mom or dad. They'll throw a punch or two, they'll look over at mom or dad. They'll throw a kick and a punch and they'll look over at mom or dad. And mom or dad will say, my kid doesn't focus. My kid doesn't focus. He's been here 8 weeks. You haven't taught him to focus. And I'll look at the parents and I'll go, actually, your kid's hyper-focused. Your kid's focused on your approval because every time they throw 4 or 5 punches, they look over you for approval to see if your face is smiling or frowning or give them a thumbs up or a thumbs down. What you need to teach them to do is be proud of themselves. Not that mom and dad's approval doesn't matter, it does. But in the end of the day, we want to teach our children to be proud of what they're doing. If they do a school project, are you proud of the project that you did? If you have to cut grass for the day, are you proud of the job you did? And there's a simple way to do that. The first way we do that is when something's done, for instance, in the martial arts world, if a kid was in class, I don't try to grab their attention and try to refocus them during class. I let the instructor do their job. And then after class, I look for the 1 or 2 things that they did really good and I praise that behavior. So let's say your kid is playing soccer and he's running up and down the field staring at you, waving the whole game. But for one play, he dribbled the ball all the way down the field. Then when you get in the car, you don't say, man, you looked at me for 48 minutes of the soccer game. The 1 minute you did something right is now negated. You forget the 48 minutes, you leave that to the coach. And you look at the child and you go, I was very impressed. The one thing you did today when you got that ball is you cut left, you cut right, you dribbled, you made it all the way down to the goal and you passed it to your teammate who was open. I was so proud of you for that. You go home and then what do? If your significant other, your spouse didn't go to the game, you brag to your spouse. What do you do 2 days from now? You pick up the phone, you make a fake phone call to somebody and you go, yeah, let me tell you about Timmy in the soccer game. And you do it when Timmy's in the room. So Timmy can get that feel good that he did something great. And then when he goes to the game the next time, what's he going to try to do? He's going to try really hard to get the ball and dribble down the field again. He's going to try to do it 2 or 3 times so you can brag about him again. And you keep praising the behaviors that you want to see. What we're going to do next is after that, we're going to say, man, you dribbled down the field so well today. How did that make you feel? And we're going to start teaching them to feel good about the things that they did and not need the praise from you. And so you ask, why is that important? Well, for me, I have 3 daughters. And as they were coming up, I realized if I didn't teach them to have self-worth and self-praise, when they become teenagers, they're going to be looking for boys for that. And that's going to lead to probably some situations they don't want to be in. And so I said, hey, I want them to have that self-worth. How do I do that? I teach them how to find self-worth. I teach them to analyze, was today my best performance? Did I give my best focus? Did I do my best job? And so I would ask questions around that. How did you feel about today's performance? Well, I just didn't feel like I gave my best. Oh, really? Now it wasn't me telling them, they thought about it. There's a bigger lesson when they come to that conclusion than it is when I tell them. And then I can say, well, what would you do differently next time? And they would tell me. And I would go, wow, that's right. That's probably what I would do. We have to remember we have to give our children opportunities to grow. So we want them to self-analyze to see what they did right, what they didn't do so right, and then how to fix what they didn't do right. And then when they go to the next thing and they do it again and they did that thing that wasn't right, when they did it right the next time, you can say, I was really proud of you. How did that make you feel? And we're teaching them that self-worth and to find that self-value, and that's going to lead to the success that they're going to want to see and all the things they do as they grow up.